to the NBA, where the Lakers got some much-needed talent back on the floor over the weekend. LeBron James returned to play after missing the last 7 games with a groin injury alongside Rui Hachimura. However, their return was no match for the Bulls, who put up 146 points in their win against the Lake Show. Despite the loss, the Lakers are getting LeBron James back at the right time. LA is 3 games clear of the Timberwolves for the 7th seed in the West. The top 6 seeds do not have to qualify for the playoffs via the play-in tournament. ESPN Analytics gives the Lakers a 94% chance to be a top 6 seed. Our NBA reporter Dave McMenamin, who covers all things Lakers, and our NBA analyst Carlos Boozer joins us right now. And Dave, I'll start with you. The Lakers finally have LeBron back in the lineup, but what are you hearing about how LA is planning to manage his injury going forward?
Yeah, I mean, clearly the LeBron James that we saw on Saturday night was not the guy that we saw for most of this season, but the Lakers and LeBron recognized there wasn't going to be practice time for him to try to ramp up. So as soon as he felt like his body could give it a go, he's going to use the games in order to get his wind back, get his rhythm back. Now, I asked him if he thinks the groin injury is behind him, and he said really he's just taking it day by day at this point. He hopes it's behind him, but he's unsure and didn't, quite frankly, want to jinx it. And so the Lakers are going to be cognizant about that, but this isn't like a minutes restriction type of thing for LeBron. The guy who is on a minutes restriction is Rui Hachimura, who's going to be in the 20 to 25 minute range right now. He told us that his knee is maybe only 70 to 80%. But again, he recognizes the moment that the team is in, and he needs to try to help them if he can to secure that top 6 seed.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing really with this team is just the fact that they got LeBron back and they got Rui Hachimura back on the court. Obviously, this team healthy is a dangerous team in the Western Conference. I don't think anybody wants to see them if they're completely healthy. And obviously, the biggest thing is showing up their defense. But them getting LeBron back and getting Hachimura back and obviously keeping the rest of those guys healthy is the biggest asset they have going into the playoffs.
Yeah, getting LeBron back is huge for this Lakers team. Keeping him healthy is another story. Dave, 8 of the Lakers' final 12 games are on the road beginning tonight in Orlando. What are you hearing about LA's approach in their final stretch?
Well, certainly, J.J. Redick brought up the fact that their last road trip did not go well in the postgame the other night, and he wants them to keep that in their mind. Now, the Lakers obviously have had a successful year, but they're under 500 on the road all season long. Obviously, they had that winless 0-4 road trip, but there were some injuries that involved in that. Obviously, Rui was out. LeBron got hurt in Boston. But it's about focus to detail and also trying to get that defensive edge back. It was a atrocious performance on the defensive end against the Chicago Bulls the other night. Gave up a season-high 146 points, 81 points in the second half. That's inexcusable. Now they have a couple get-back games on this trip. The Magic beat them earlier in the year, and obviously the Bulls just beat them. So both those two teams they can try to get a little bit of revenge against as extra motivation on this trip.
Yeah, we just saw it right there on the screen. The Lakers lost the last 6 of 9. Carlos, what do you want to see beginning tonight as the Lakers make their final push for the playoffs?
Yeah, I agree with Dave. I mean, to get their defensive edge back, they've been a really good defensive team the last 2 or 3 months. That game against Chicago, they gave up 70 points in the paint, so I'm looking to see how they guard Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. Those guys are dominant guys. They get to the paint, especially Paolo does a good job of getting to the free throw line. You want to see the Lakers going into the playoffs playing their best defense in sync. The rotations are on point. They're rebounding the basketball. They're finishing off defensive possessions strong. That way you know that for Laker fans out there that they're playing their best basketball when their best basketball is needed.
Yeah, defense is something the Lakers definitely need to focus on. 21 turnovers in that loss to the Bulls just a couple of days ago. Dave, Carlo.
I tell you, he was shooting that rock. And you know what's scary? He is going both ways on his step back and knocking them down. And both ways, it's something he'd been working on. You hadn't seen much of it. Famously, the game winner he hit over Gobert in the West Finals was going back to his right, but he's doing it fairly often now. Clearly has his legs under him, and you know Luka's put the ball in the hole. Now, this vaunted Lakers defense, we got to chit chat about it. They just gave up 146 to the Bulls.
Yeah, Bontemps. They played 7 games in 10 days. They lost 4 of them. And they have lost position. When LeBron went down, they were in second. Now they're in fourth by 2.5. And the Warriors are missing Steph.
I
I think the Lakers survived this stretch fine.
Yeah, I agree.
They punted a couple of the games. They almost
they had
won
to.
in Denver
They had
despite
to.
Yeah, you had to.
They had 6 and 8. They had 6 and 8, and I think went 3 and 3 in those games.
They did.
And LeBron didn't play in any of them.
They got the Warriors and the Clippers, coming hot on their tail. So, and they start a 4-game road trip. They're going out east for 4 games. It's not the most brutal trip in the history of the NBA, but this is
the trip is Orlando Monday, Indiana Wednesday, at Chicago Thursday, at Memphis Saturday. Just
say Chicago and Indy are 2 of the hottest teams in the East right now. I just want to point that out. But they are in 4th place, and they're right now whole basically. So a key 10 days here for the Lakers, so they actually get a couple of days off, but have to. They have to win. Like they need to get back to where they were. Otherwise, they're going to lose position. And look, if you're in the West, obviously you want to stay out of the play-in, which they're okay with that. But there is which side of the bracket you're on is going to be important. And so it's a little bit hard to completely identify it. But I know if Houston holds on to the 2 seed and you're picking the side of the bracket, you'd rather be on Houston's side of the bracket. I mean, that's just reality, right? I'm not.
Well, it's more not being on Oklahoma City's side of the bracket even than being on Houston's side. And I mean, it's interesting. So Denver, Nikola Jokic, I know McMahon's in Houston. Nikola Jokic is going to miss his 4th straight game with this ankle thing today.
Ooh, careful,
Brandon Clark is now out for the season with a PCL injury.
That was a blow.
Another injury.
Saturday night Memphis Grizzlies medical update.
By the way, there has not been an official Memphis Grizzlies medical update release on this, but John Moran has missed 4 straight, and the first 3 it was listed as hamstring soreness. For the 4th, that was changed to a hamstring strain.
Sounds like somebody got an MRI is what that sounds like to me.
By the way, so Denver's lost, going in, this is Sunday morning, obviously, but Denver's lost a couple in a row. Lakers have lost 6 of their last 10. Memphis has lost 3 in a row. And like you said, the Warriors, Clippers, and the Warriors, Clippers, and Wolves have all been pretty hot. And, like you said, all 3 of those teams, they're probably, I shouldn't even say probably, they could be okay avoiding the play-in, but they're only a couple losses ahead of those teams behind them. And that's where we talked about it earlier in the week. Minnesota kicking away those games against bad teams earlier this week. Those are the kind of games where if you're trying to dig out of this hole, you can't kick away games like that.
Well, what it looks like in the West right now is whoever finishes 7th, there's 7 teams that could look like they could do something. Whoever finishes 7th is going to be